Hey friends, I have been MIA. I decided to pull back. I had reached a point of burnout between work and school and life and the stuff that I was working through in counseling, and it all got to be too much. So I pulled back from social media. I pulled back from interacting with people. I just really needed to go back internally and kind of keep a safe bubble around me for a while and recharge, and I'm still working on that. But I am here to share something that is very vulnerable for me, but I think it's necessary for me to share it, um, because if I don't share it publicly, I will probably never share it. And my counselor has said, I need to tell somebody this. Um, this video is not going to be for little kids. So if you are in and around kids and they can hear, stop it now. This is sensitive subject matter. So if you're an adult that doesn't like to talk about sex, doesn't like to hear bad things related to sex, turn it off now. I have told you guys in the past about an assault that happened when I was a kid. I have talked through and processed that. I have very much carried another situation around with me, and I've never talked about it to anybody. And I realized today in my counseling session, we were working through the lesson on grief. 2 weeks ago, I had not done this lesson. I had not done my homework. But over these last 2 weeks, I did it. I dove in and I worked through it. And the homework was actually related to grief, not about this in particular. But in talking with my counselor, this subject came up. And I shared all of this with her before we even talked about what I had processed through in my grief homework. I was in a serious relationship, and in that relationship, I was raped many times. I never told anybody because in the culture I grew up in, the woman is supposed to be submissive to the man, and the woman is supposed to take care of the man, and the woman should not deny the man from what he wants. And there were times, let me start out by saying, I am not a prude, and this person was not deprived by any means whatsoever. This person had a problem. And they wanted what they wanted, and they wanted it when they wanted it. And if I said no, it caused a fight. And there were times that we fought because I said no. But this person would purposefully wait until I was asleep and I couldn't fight back, to get what they wanted. I am not naming names. I am not giving details. I am simply saying that I'm not a victim. I suffered through relationship rape. It's not, they call it date rape. Doesn't matter what the actual title is, it's rape, period. And I suffered in silence. I told no one. I didn't feel like I had the right or the power or the privilege to tell anybody, because I would have just been told that's your responsibility in the relationship. And now I know that's not true, but that doesn't negate what I experienced and the feelings it caused and the hurt that it caused, and how ashamed it made me feel. In that relationship, I was not a human. I was not valued because that person loved me. I was valued for what I could do for that person. And it not just related to sex, but that was the biggest, most important thing for them. And I am sharing this publicly now. One, because if I don't share it publicly, I won't work through it. And I have to force myself to work through it because I never want to be in a position where that happens to me again. And so to overcome shame and pain, you have to speak it. You can't keep it hidden, and you have to process the grief. You have to acknowledge it, and you have to process through it. I know that not all men are like that one, but I am terrified to end up in a situation like that again, with someone who doesn't value me, with someone who is only interested in using me. And in being in a position where I feel like I can't speak up for myself. And I want a healthy relationship. And in order to have a healthy relationship, I have to heal all the crap from past ones. And so this is my first step in doing that. So the first reason that I'm sharing this is to share it publicly so that I can properly process it and heal it. The second reason is because my counselor, I told her that being in that situation, I didn't tell anybody because I felt like either people were going to tell me that was my role as that person's partner to satisfy them, or there was going to be the other side that criticized me for not standing up for myself harder. And I felt like what I suffered, I felt invalid, like my problems are invalid. And she said that's not true, and I promise you there are people out there who have experienced what you've experienced, and you're not alone, and you need to know that. And so I am also sharing because if you've had a similar experience, and I know there are probably a good bit of women who have, I want you to know you're not alone. So this is me being very, very, very vulnerable. Please, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't comment. Just move along. I can't handle negative comments right now. So that's something that I've never shared. It's something that I've never let out until today. And I know it can be used against me. But I hope that instead of it being used against me, somebody can use this to help them find strength and comfort in knowing that they're not alone if this has happened to them.